Am I in camera? Oh, back here I am. Hello, people. Oh, no, I'm too low. I don't know. Who cares? Hi. I've not made a video in a while, so I thought I would pop in. I do have a metaphysical woo-woo thing to talk about, which is important and the thumbnail for this video. But I do want to talk about Panama. Am I even a kid? I'm like, where do I look? You would think by now I would know. Went to Panama City, Panama for the Christmas break. Loved it. Freaking loved it. I'm moving. I mean, I don't know yet, but I think I'm moving. So, I already know that when I can retire, if I can ever retire, no, I'm going to retire. In fact, I'm actually starting to lower the age at which I'm going to retire because I need change. I've been knowing that I'm probably going to leave the country just for the cost of living issues because, I'm not rich. I worked for a man who was from Panama years ago, and he got me more interested in Panama back then. I was already in love with Costa Rica. I am considering Thailand, and there's a bunch of options. So, but Panama kept coming up lately. So I went for Christmas, loved it. The people are so freaking friendly and lovely. It's almost unbelievable. And I'm spilling water. I'm so excited. I had more lovely conversations and deep conversations using Google Translate half of the time. Thank God for Google Translate. I really need to get my Spanish back. In a week with these people than I've had in years in New Mexico or the United States. So it was just lovely. Traffic was insane. Wow. And I lived in Los Angeles for about 22 years overall. And so I'm used to traffic. It was so bad. I was in the back of a taxi this one point, and I literally had to go, I can't look. It's a whole other thing. So now this is Panama City. I do need to go back to start exploring some of the smaller cities up north, like Boquete, David, Playa Blanca. I don't know. There's a lot where it's a little easier to drive and stuff. But Panama City's traffic, I took videos of it to show people. It's a whole other world. So anyway, I've started to look for real estate and stuff because why not? And I can pay cash for a condo and get out of here. So, but what I didn't do when I was there, I just did it now, and I wish I had. But honestly, I was just doing the typical. I only had so many days, and I was doing the typical tourist thing. But normally when I travel, I do try to find metaphysical stores. See how receptive they are to we woo-woo people. Now, it is a very Catholic country, but I found a couple of metaphysical type stores, especially one bigger one in Panama City. I don't know if the small towns have anything, but I have realized, I've realized that I am a city girl, which is why I'm suffering here in New Mexico. I arrived after dark Christmas Day, and so when the Uber driver was bringing me into town to get to my hotel, and I saw this fabulous skyline of skyscrapers at night twinkling, I started to cry. She didn't know what was wrong with me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but I miss a city. I miss the excitement and the energy and the vitality of a city. So when you cry, seeing the city skyscrapers, that's a sign things need to change. I very strongly disagree with you need to bloom and grow where you're planted. Bullshit. Bull freaking shit. There are places that are either good for you or bad for you. I've personally experienced that because I have moved quite a bit in my life. I actually had a psychic in the spring of 2019, yes, before COVID, 2019, here in Santa Fe. I sat down at her little table, and all I said was, "Where am I supposed to be?" She immediately said, New Orleans, and I've been thinking about New Orleans again because I love New Orleans and I love Savannah, but I'm increasingly thinking I actually need to be out of the country. But those two cities are options. But like without hesitation, she said New Orleans, and then because we psychics cannot read ourselves, we have to go to other people. And she actually said, she says New Mexico is really bad for you, and I go, I know, but no one believes me. And she's like, it's holding you back. And that is exactly what I feel. I feel this location is making me waste my life and holding me back. Now, I need income. I have a really good job. So that's why I'm stuck right now. But I'm trying to figure out how to change things. Wait, there's something I was going to. Oh, so you can go to, if memory serves me correctly, you can go to astro.com and do a relocation chart for yourself. Now, there's probably I'm sure there's other websites that offer it too, but I really like that website, and they have a lot of free things that they give you. Now, the complicating matter for me is that my really best areas are in the middle of the Atlantic where there is no land. That's a problem. There is one city in Brazil that is supposed to be good for me, blah, blah, blah. But even, and this is really not what this video was supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about chakra. We'll get to chakra in a minute. My health was so much better. It was unbelievable. And the moment I got back to the United States, all my gut issues, I have chronic, since I was born, digestive problems and stuff. So they've gotten bad again. They were fixed in Panama. They've been fixed when I've been in Mexico. They've been fixed when I've been in Costa Rica. So it's something about Mexico and Central America that my system just likes. My body likes hot and humid. I am extremely vata in Ayurvedic medicine. I'm increasingly believing in Ayurvedic medicine and stuff. You should look up your doshas and figure out what you are. I'm predominantly vata. Cold, dry, like what I live with here, is the worst thing for me. So, and my coworker's wife, she's had chronic gut issues her entire life. When she goes to Mexico, she's healed. She comes back and she's back to suffering again. The only thing that didn't get better this time, which sucked, was my 29 years plus counting nonstop brain crushing headache. It was bad the whole time, but that's just really difficult. So I've just gotten distracted. Oh, so anyway, let's go to woo-woo. Oh, and by the way, this is going to piss you off. You can buy a brand new 4x4 pickup truck in Panama City for $20,000. You can get a little tiny economy basic car, $16,750. I thought I was seeing stuff. And they have their own money, but they base it on the U.S. dollar, so it's really convenient. You can pay with U.S. dollars, so I love that. I know Belize does that too. Okay, I need to not have this video be 3 hours long. So, so I did just find a couple of metaphysical shops down there that I need to make contact with. Because I need to start getting my footprint in there so that if I do move, if that ends up being where I go, and I'm increasingly having a feeling that's where I'm supposed to be, I'll have some contacts so that I can do my spiritual work and stuff. So, well, my spiritual work that I have not been doing for years. So there's that. Speaking of which, spirit guides. I'm still gonna get to chakra in a second. I believe my sweetheart. I've had a hard time, and I know I'm not the only one, because I've seen people pose questions a lot on other people's videos and stuff about, how do I contact my spirit guides? How do I communicate? All that kind of thing. And I would love to be like Sylvia Brown, where Francine, her main spirit guide, would just really clearly talk in her ear. I mean, she just heard Francine. My guides, they're really subtle, and I have a feeling that's common. So the issue is, they will say something to us, and it's oftentimes so subtle, or you think it's just yourself thinking to yourself, or whatever, it's your own mind when it's not, that we discard it and we don't pay attention. I mean, okay, this is a funny story. When I lived in Los Angeles years ago, I was heading from where I lived, kind of between Hollywood and West Hollywood, towards, I forgot where I was going. Probably Century City or Santa Monica. Oh, that's another thing I need to talk about. And I thought I knew my route, and I'm coming down La Cienega, and I was going to go, turn right on Santa Monica Boulevard, whatever, and head towards where I was going. There was this little tiny voice that just said, "Take Melrose." And I went, no, it's like Melrose is out of my way. Oh, no, I'm taking Santa Monica. So I didn't listen. Turned down to Santa Monica Boulevard, and shit. Massive backup. Something had happened. If I had taken Melrose, I would have been fine. So that's a good example of, it's a really subtle thing. So I'm trying desperately in 2025 to pay attention to the really subtle nudgings that you think are nothing, but they are something. They are our unseen friends and our guides trying to, help. They can never force us to do anything, which they probably wish they could, but they can't. Because they hit me in the head, with a book all the time. Lethal, stop. So, yeah, they do. Lethal hits me in the head when I'm not paying attention. I know that now. But, so I'm trying to listen to the subtle things. So, lately, I'm a little dense, so it's taken me 58 years to figure this out. I've been just feeling these subtle things, and the simple one is I need to cut back on social media. So I am. I think it would behoove everyone to do that, but I don't know. I mean, there's benefits to it. Quite frankly, without social media, I probably would be clueless, like a lot of people are still clueless about what's really going on. So there is definite benefits to it in terms of awareness and being awake. But excessive, it can be very stressful. I mean, they've proven this with kids. I mean, here in New Mexico, they're talking about banning cell phones from schools because it's so detrimental to the children's learning and their mental health. And then there's the bullying and, eating disorders and things that are increasing because of all this. So I think it would benefit everybody to cut back. I'm not saying totally quit, but don't be on there 5 hours a day checking stuff. Check in every few days for 5 minutes. That kind of thing. So Spirit's been telling me about that. And my spiritual work. They want me to start doing more stuff, and I'm probably going to need to try and do readings again or something. I don't know. I'm still fighting it. It's really stressful to do readings. It just is. It is. But I'm probably going to have to. Oh, and then, okay, to go back to California. You know, the fire situation is horrific. I feel so bad for all of these people who've lost everything they had. And just like with like with the folks in North Carolina who lost everything, in hurricanes in Florida who lost everything, and the people in Japan who are suffering right now from their latest bad quake, and other places that have major. It's awful. And it's getting me more into. I've already been minimalist compared to most people, but increasingly, I feel like having less is more. I'm getting rid of stuff like crazy. I just don't want a lot of stuff anymore because, quite frankly, in a second, your stuff can be gone. And there is freedom in not being weighed down by too many things. It literally affects, I personally have felt it affect not just like my stress level and that kind of thing, but my spirit, my soul. There is a wonderful sense of freedom spiritually when you don't have a lot of stuff. When I moved to New Mexico the first of 3 times in December 2005, I was in Los Angeles, and I was living in a tiny really small one-room apartment, so I didn't have that much compared to average people anyway, but the majority of my things had shipped to Albuquerque, where I had moved that time, a few days before me. And I came home from doing an errand one day, and I opened my door, and besides my 2 beautiful kitties, Karma and Bodhi at the time, sitting there in the living room, in my one room, I had a sleeping bag, a 13-inch television, one of those combo 13-inch TVs and VCR. Remember those? I kind of miss those. What did I have? As a sleeping bag, the TV. I had like 1 bowl, 1 pot, 1 cup, 1 spoon, 1 fork, 1 knife, a few clothes, toothpaste. That was pretty much it. So I opened the door and it was just empty with the sleeping bag and TV there and a clock, I think. And I had the brief thought of, I hope they lose my stuff. I feel free. I feel totally free. I've always joked that I wish my entire life could fit in a backpack. And I've come close to that. Like when I moved to Denver in 2016, I had everything in my Honda Fit except 2 boxes that I shipped to myself. So anyway, but the horrible devastation that's been going on in California right now, and in what people in North Carolina and elsewhere are still dealing with, I'm just really realizing, things have what's meaningful to you. And I've been thinking about, in an emergency, if I had to vacate really quickly, what would I grab? That's the question to ask yourself. And I know that I would take the ashes of my babies who've passed and their pictures, probably my laptop, maybe some other pictures, birth certificate, my current babies, and get out. I don't know that I would care about, a sofa or bed and that kind of thing. So maybe the spiritual lesson in the horrors that is going on right now are less is more, live simply, and that memories and people are way more important than people, and pets are way more important than any material things. And a lot of people who lost everything, but at least their family is safe, and their pets are safe, um, get that. They're like, you know what, we lost everything, but we're alive, and, we'll get through this. So, but my heart goes out to everybody because the devastation is horrendous. Beautiful areas that are gone now. So I'm going to cry. Then I'm going to cry and start talking about chakra. So anyway, an extra woo-woo part of this video that is, what triggered this really is, I lost chakra February 23rd last year. And she came to me in blue within 2 days, and I documented that. I think I blogged about it, and I got a video of Blue seeing her in spirit and reacting to her 2 days later. It was definitely, that's what was going on. So she's already, stopped by to say she loves us. And she is with Karma in Bodhi again. I clairvoyantly saw that the afternoon she died. But I haven't heard anything in a while, and I haven't felt anything in a while. And I understand any soul that crosses over needs to go on to their next adventure, and they have things to be doing and learning on the other side, and then before they reincarnate. So I don't want to ever trap anybody here because I need them, human or animal. But it's still nice to know they're around occasionally. So the past couple of weeks or so, I thought I have felt her. But it's like I said, it's really subtle. Like one night, I thought I heard her meow. But Mizu, who she sent to me in blue, he kind of meows like her. He sounds a little bit like her, although not totally. But I think it was her. I don't think it was him. So I was doing something in my bedroom, and I heard, I'm like, sorry. I'm into my little goth thing today, all black. So I thought it was her. I go, is that Chakra? And I am like, So I just kept listening and nothing. One night in bed, I could have sworn I felt her curl up next to me because Blue and Mizu were not next to me. I thought, is that her? I kept questioning myself. Well, anyway, a few mornings ago, I lost today's Saturday. I forgot what morning it happened, but it happened within the past few days. I don't sleep well as it is, so I'm up half the night, whatever. But I did finally, I guess, fall asleep, early into the wee hours of the morning, so to speak. And I thought it started off like a dream, but it clearly was not just a dream. It ended up becoming very lucid, and I know now it wasn't she visited me in spirit. So in the dream, I was either in the other part of my bedroom or maybe in the living room, I don't know. But I heard like a cat yowling and stuff. So I came into my bedroom to see what's going on. And Blue, who adored Chakra very much, he still misses her very much, he was on top of her, holding her down and stuff. And he jumped off, and and then I saw her. I realized what was going on, and I'm like, oh my God, Chakra. And so I laid down. So she was on her right side. I faced her on my left side with my face to her right here. And I'm looking at her, just loving being able to see her again. And I put my hand on her side, and it felt like she was breathing. And I wanted to check for a heartbeat, but someone told me, do not check for a heartbeat because there won't be one. And I'm like, yeah. And I was thinking about it today actually, and because why would I even feel the breathing? But what I think what that was is to go back to a very interdimensional thing I happened in 1998 at Ojo Caliente. When I saw the reality of everything for about 10 seconds. There is an energy that connects literally everything. I've seen it with my eyes. I saw it with my real eyes, with my clairvoyant eyes. I saw everything. The air, windows, animals, people, chairs, everything is full of light and glows and breathes together with energy. So this breathing of light energy, God source, whatever you want to call it, that I saw back in 1998, it dawned on me today that maybe that's why she felt like she was breathing, even though she was spirit at that point. She didn't have a physical body. So I'm laying there looking at her. I had my hand on her, and it felt like she was breathing, but I was told, don't check for a heartbeat. You're not going to find one. And then we just we put like the tops of our crown chakras together. We put like our heads together and rubbed our faces a little bit. And she used to do that to me. And then I woke up. So this was not a dream. This was very lucid. This was an astral visit. And I want to instill in anyone who is missing a human or animal loved one, if you have a dream about them, 99% of the time, it's not a dream. It's a visit. This was easier to accept, was definitely a visit, because I knew she's dead, physically dead. Not, we're all eternal, so she's not eternally dead, but physically she's dead. So I knew, because I knew that when this was going on, it was very clear that this was just an astral event. And then, to be honest, I think she came by this morning again. So I think she's been hanging around again. I mean, we're getting near the 1-year anniversary next month, so maybe that's why she's stopping by, but I'd love to have her stop by. So that is good. And this video is so way too long, so I need to get off. And all over the place. But I haven't done a video in like 2 months, so hey. Anyway, I feel like intuitively, I'm trying. I will suggest. To try to give people something for staying tuned this long. I do recommend Jeff Mara podcast on YouTube. He interviewed me there a few years ago, but he just did a good interview with an astrologer about 2025, and she talks about every single sign. So I'm a double Libra. So she said Librans are going to be really busy with travel like the first 5 months. And it's funny because, I just got back from Panama recently, and then I'm already I got the travel bug again, because the only way to survive Santa Fe is to get out. So I'm going to Austin, Texas in mid-February. Can't wait. I've been wanting to check that out. But anyway, it's like Libra's first 5 months, lots of travel. And then early June, our careers are going to totally take off to the point where we have no time to do anything other than be successful. So, woohoo! Although I hope it's like I'm thinking my career, I don't know which career it's talking about, but anyway. But anyway, she does cover every sign. So you might want to go check her out. I'm forgetting her name. I think she's about my age, probably brown hair. He posted it within the past few days, recently. So you'll see it. Jeff Mara podcast. I do feel like this is going to be a whole fasten your seatbelts year. I'm telling you all that right now. I've been feeling it for a while. And to be honest, the fact that it started off with the horrible New Year's Eve event in New Orleans, and then the fires, and then, and the extra creepy thing is, I was stuck in Houston Airport coming back from Panama New Year's Eve. It was so long I thought I was Tom Hanks in the movie The Terminal, honestly. I'm like, I can't get out of this airport. I'm going to have to live in here. I got chatting with this lovely couple from Kansas City who were heading to New Orleans for the first time to go to Bourbon Street for the celebration. And I'm still worried. I hope they're alive. I don't know. They were lovely, and I hope they're okay. But this is a good example. That's a good, okay, I was going to try to end this. That was a good example. And I joked to them. I go, you know what? Maybe I'll just go to New Orleans with you because I don't think I'm going to get back to New Mexico tonight. But what had happened was their flight had been very delayed. So they were supposed to already be in New Orleans like hours before I met them. And they were getting to, they were worried they weren't going to make it before midnight to Bourbon Street to celebrate, which ended up being a horrible event. I'm learning more, and there's so many stories about 9/11 where this happened to people, where they, like, their alarm clock didn't go off that morning and they were late to work, and because of that, they're alive. So these, it's possible that because these people's plane, although they did end up taking off just before mine, was delayed because Spirit was trying to save them. So I'm trying to accept that when inconvenient things happen, and we miss a plane or this, or we don't get that job, or there was a job not long ago where I didn't get it, and then now that company is like going under. So we have to trust there's a bigger plan, and not stress out so bad because we didn't get a certain job, or we didn't get on a certain plane, or because maybe that plane crashed or whatever. So we need to trust that we're being protected and led and guided. And quite frankly, if it's not your time to go, it's not your time to go. So there's, stressing out about it isn't really going to help you any. And then there's something floating in the air right now. It's a hair, but anyway, I really need to end this. So this is way longer than I wanted to do. But thank you if you're still awake, and take care. And I need to start posting a little more regularly again. But I've just been tired, and a lot's been going on and stuff. So anyway, love you. Stay safe. Bye.